What's up, everybody? MLG Sports Talk. We're here once again. Got a lot of stuff to cover today, so strap on your seatbelt. Let's get it going. What's up, Jack? How you feeling, man?
Feeling great, man. Just landed back in Vegas from LA. Back here in the spot. Ready to go to Caesar's Palace tomorrow. Just excited for the week.
Yes, sir. Time to hit that machine and let them know who's boss. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Big week coming up this week. I'm so excited. A lot of college football content coming your way and NFL as well. But in the meantime, let's get to this breaking news. We said before, Dak Prescott, he's officially on IR, so he's out at least 4 weeks, pretty much the rest of the season. That's what the hint I'm getting here. They're going to start Cooper Rush this week. They have a tough game. Luckily, they're at home against their division rival, the Eagles. So you think Cooper Rush can give them a shot to maybe a cover? I don't see them winning this game, but 7 points at home.
Well, again, Vaughn, you know me. I'm a little biased. Eagles fan anyway. So even with Dak Prescott, I have the Eagles winning this game. Without him, I don't see them winning it at all. The line already moved up from 6.5 to 7. Now, covering, maybe backdoor cover at the end somehow because the Eagles are prone to doing that. It's Nick Sirianni. They're going to go for it randomly. They're going to do something, turn the ball over, and go for 2 instead of, they're going to do something stupid during the game. So now, if the Cowboys do somehow beat the Eagles, that'll be an embarrassment. But I mean, I don't think the Cowboys are going to win any of these games really coming up. I mean, their schedule, like who they got? They got Atlanta. Oh, they just lost to Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
so
they just
after
lost
that,
them.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got Houston after that. After that, they got the Commanders, and then they got the Giants. So, I mean, I'm seeing 1 and 3. To
Right.
be honest. And at that point, is Dak Prescott? He said he's on IR for 4 weeks. Okay, is he going to come back for the Bengals game on Monday Night Football?
I hope he does. You know why? He's going to take that L.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, and that's a week I'm marking on my calendar right now. Now that I see it, so again, we already know this team was cooked. Like I said yesterday, they got replaced by the Commanders in the division, and they're gonna have to go into this offseason and really make some moves and decisions. I mean, I'm looking for Jerry Jones to make some decisions, and again, he caved and signed Dak Prescott because that's what the entire media base wanted him to do. But now that he did, they're still going to blame him. So at the end of the day, he's not going to cave and give up his ownership of the team. So he'll look to make some moves, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and now they have an issue because Michael Parsons, you're going to have to pay him.
I heard about that, and, I heard a rumor now. People are thinking about maybe he might be somebody that gets moved. Obviously not here at the trade deadline, but in the offseason. And let's see what happens. I mean, this is new age players. These teams are prone to actually break up quicker than you think.
Right.
And, let's see. This is a testament for Dak Prescott's leadership. Let's see if we could, keep this team together, even while he's hurt.
Right. Tough situation out there in Dallas. Looks like the next 3 to 5 years are not looking good. They have to go through the draft now to try to rebuild. So good luck to Dallas. Let's talk about this. This was a big move. The Commanders traded for the Saints Pro Bowler, Marshawn Lattimore. So that's going to help them tremendously. They need some secondary help. Their D-line is solid, but their secondary does need some help. They've been improving as the season's moving along. You think this is a move? The Saints are just giving up on the season? This is kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, it does. At least on the defensive side of the ball, they've been struggling with their offense all season ever since the first 2 weeks. I mean, again, I'm a Taysom Hill fan, so I want to see him go off and do stuff. But on the defensive side, again, losing their best, one of their best defenders, if not their best defender, we knew they weren't going to make the playoffs anyway. Who are we kidding, right? And that's ownership and, the people running the organization saying, who are we kidding? Obviously the players are still out there and try. Cam Jordan's gonna, put his passion and heart into the game. I know
Right,
that's for sure.
right.
Really, this is up to Carr. Can he do something to turn this around? If he can, this is his time to do it. And if he can't, they're gonna have to move on in the offseason. That's just facts.
Yeah, it's looking bad for some of these teams that I thought actually had a shot of making a wild card, but that's why they go out there and play for the season. So a lot going on.
I mean, look, Marshawn Lattimore, he's 28, 6 foot 192. He's a solid guy. He's a solid player, cornerback. Is he going to continue to improve? Maybe not. Maybe he can. Maybe get slightly better. But at the end of the day, it's a good trade for the Saints so they could recoup some of that on that asset before he's 30. If they're
Right,
gonna lose anyway, why is he on that team?
I
That's
agree.
just you know.
I think this was one of the best trades in my eyes. Some people might,
No, it
after
was for the
the
Commanders
next,
for sure.
yeah,
For the
for the
Commanders for
Commanders,
sure.
and like you said, the Saints as well. The season's done. You might as well get a draft pick. So let's move
I mean,
along. Go
before we move along, has any team made the playoffs after losing 7 in a row?
ahead. Right.
And that way, what did
Lost.
the Eagles lose 7 in a row last year? But that was at the end of the season. I don't know.
I don't even think it was 7. It might have been 5 or 6, but yeah, 7 is a lot. And then you fire your coach. Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah,
It's too much going on.
but it is the interim coach rule for this week.
Yeah, but I still don't
I'm
trust.
not even. I don't even
Yeah.
trust that.
Now that they traded Marshawn Lattimore, nah, I really don't trust that.
No.
Nope, sorry. Not what you, the Saints. All right, let's talk about this. Everybody's going to rave about this trade. Lions add Zadarius Smith. They definitely need a pass rusher after their top linebacker went out for the season. I mean, it's a good trade for the Lions, right? Wouldn't you think
Yeah,
that?
I mean they needed a pass rusher because theirs got hurt, and he,
Yeah.
again, he still has the potential to come maybe at the very end of the season, meaning like in the playoffs, maybe. So whatever fraction of him you get back, that's just a bonus with this guy that you have now. So that's what they were missing. Again, they just got better. But that's what these teams, are going to do during this time of the season anyway. They're going to load up for the playoff run. This
Yeah.
is what this team is clearly in position to do that. I mean, both their running backs are going off. Goff is having statistically his best season probably ever. Their defense is solid. Their pass rusher was it. What's his name exactly? I'm forgetting it.
Who that got hurt?
Yeah,
Was it Hutchinson or
Hutchinson. Yeah,
Yeah, Hutchinson.
he was really good. He was nice for them. He was killing in the beginning of the season, right before he got hurt, and that was like that secret extra piece that made him look unstoppable and just going because it was on the defense side of the ball too. And they were already looking to replace that, but they waited it out till now. They probably got the best deal,
Yeah,
let's say, for that. Someone to slot in that exact position for them. So now they don't skip a beat at all. And now when Hutchinson does come back, it's more of a cherry on top. And instead of coming back and trying to do too much while he's hurt.
yeah, I agree.
That's how I look at it.
I definitely agree with you. This is a good trade for the Lions, something they needed. Pretty much the only thing they needed because this team's been rolling even without Hutchinson. So Lions get stronger, but I don't think this team will make it to the Super Bowl. Everybody's darling now, and this was one of my teams to make it before the season. But now, as I'm seeing this play out, I don't know. They might run out of gas later. We'll see.
Really?
Yeah, I think they run out of gas when in the playoffs. I got the
early out, huh? A sneaky early out.
Yeah, I got the Packers coming out the NFC.
Yeah,
We'll see
I
what
heard
happens.
that.
All right.
Hey, it's still early. Don't make your picks yet on that. It's still early.
Yeah, it's an early lean. It's just an early lean. Steelers trade for Mike Williams. Ooh, I like that. They need another receiver over there for Pickens. They also got Preston Smith. I believe he's a DN, if I'm not mistaken. So Steelers making moves. They're trying to make a playoff run. Good game coming up this week. We're going to talk more about that later in the week. What you think? This helps the Steelers, helps Russell Wilson, give them another deep threat?
Yeah, I mean, he really needed another weapon anyway. was it Jefferson? Like the second receiver they have wasn't really doing any production for them, but Pickens was going off as soon as they switched to Russell Wilson. Their offense started clicking. So this is just another guy to throw in there. That's nice. Now he's going to slot into the number 2 spot, and he was probably pissed being on the Jets anyway, being the number 3. So it's when it works out. Jets get him off the team, less toxicity. They get to roll into this game against the Cardinals after picking up that win last week. Steelers get to roll into this game off the bye. They're 13. Mike Tomlin's 13-4 off the bye. But again, Commanders are good, so they need him if they have a shot to beat the Commanders. So
I
agree to see.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good game.
But this week really won't tell if Mike Williams is really gonna be a great trade for them. I would say that's gonna happen and show more. Give it 2 weeks maybe, and then we're gonna start seeing, how that offense is gonna start operating, right?
Yeah, as we've seen already from those other receivers that's been traded.
Yeah,
it took at least a week to get going. D-Hop.
It took Devontae Adams too.
Devontae too.
Weeks, right before it started going off. So, and he played with Rodgers already and won with him. So
exactly, he already had chemistry, and it still took him time. So makes sense right there. We got some big news right here. Ravens, Lamar Jackson. I guess he didn't practice one day this week. And Ravens get White from Rams. So is that's a cornerback, right? From the Rams?
Who we got from the Rams? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's solid cornerback. Again, with Lamar Jackson,
they need some secondary help. I think
Ravens, I mean, they need the secondary help because Humphrey's been doing okay, just not as great as last year. And their defense has been getting punished ever since they lost that linebacker. So this is a good bonus for them because they know they're going to be in more high-scoring games because their offense is going to be going off. So teams are going to have to pass on them to keep up. So this just gives them a chance at the end of games to, put it away defensively through the air. That's why they did this move. Now Lamar Jackson, in terms of Thursday Night Football, Lamar Jackson not practicing. It's not a good thing. Obviously we know he's going to go out and kill it whether he practices or not. He's that great.
Right.
But again, I edge it slightly, more Bengals this game anyway. And Lamar, they're prone to fall flat at some point in a random game, just how they were at the beginning of the season. They're not just going to run through everybody the whole way through just because, no team really does that. So this is a game where, maybe out of nowhere it just doesn't go slightly as planned, especially because they just got this cornerback. Again, it's going to take a second.
Yeah, Thursday Night Football, anything can happen.
Short week,
short week, less practices, and he didn't practice today. Like you said, still Lamar Jackson, MVP caliber quarterback. He will show up. Derrick Henry will show up. But I have a feeling as well, Bengals plus the 6 is looking good right now. It's a lot of points in a game. Whoever has the ball, I feel like last can win the game. So as we seen in that first matchup, Bengals should have won that matchup, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, neither here nor there. Ravens still got the W. But
looking at it,
go ahead. At that game, Bengals were dominating the Ravens in that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's another shootout like the first game. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was going to exactly say what you just said at the end. Like, even this game, the points, we're looking at 52.5. Like, they're already saying it's going to be a shootout. They're predicting that. Now, can they end up under that in the points? Maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I see this going down to the wire anyway.
Yeah, plus 6 in your back pocket. That goes a long way. And we will sprinkle a little on the money line. I'm sure you will as well. Speaking of Bengals, Zach Moss is on IR right now. Neck injury, likely out for the season. Haven't yet ruled him out for the season, but they said likely. Didn't put it up here on the graphic, but the Bengals traded. They got another running back, Khalil Herbert from the Bears, so they had to get another backup running back. They still got Brown as their RB1, who's been pretty good on the season, I should say. He's been surprising. So what you think about this injury and the trade for the Bengals?
I think Zach Moss, even though he's a nice player, I don't think it really affects the Bengals at all, just because Brown's been – really, he's the true RB1 anyway on that team. Khalil Herbert's just another bonus to have. He's a good running back. I don't know what's going on with the Bears because I like the idea of the Bears. But they didn't have a use for him. It just seems like offensively they're just more inept, and that's because of the coaching. So that's why they traded this guy, because they weren't using him at all. So the Bengals are going to have him as a little change of pace for them. He's more of a bruiser style runner anyway. Even though he's small, I think he's 5'9". I think he's a smaller running back,
Yeah.
but bulky but shorter, I guess, if that makes sense. But aside from that, I guess we get to see, how it's going to affect them. But Zach Moss wasn't really doing much for them these last couple weeks, regardless. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it hurts, especially since they got a replacement who should be a solid backup as well. It might take them a couple weeks to learn the playbook, but hey, you running the ball not too much. As long as the O line's holding up, he should get some yards. So I think it's a solid move for the Bengals there. Yeah. So right now, I guess we'll get into a quick little commercial break, and I'll be back with the college football bracket. It's time.
I need to go. Gas on the run a rotation, a lot of hit. Hey, man, the office in metal. Yeah, Jim is like an ambulance. Oh, cooking on you.
So we're back here, and what you're seeing on the screen is the official college football bracket. This is the first bracket that's been out. And number one, of course, we have Oregon, as rightfully so. They would have a bye week if the season ended today. Number two, Georgia. What can you say? Those Bulldogs been rolling. They had a little slip up this week. They didn't lose, but they had a tough game versus Florida. Had a little scare there, but they still pulled it out. Number three, Miami. Miami also had a little scare there against Duke. For some reason, they were in a tight game, but the fourth quarter, they got it together, ended up covering a 20-point spread, and it was a close game in the fourth quarter. So shout out to Miami. They're handling business. BYU, number four, they're undefeated. To me, this is an overrated team, but we'll talk about that later on. Number five, Ohio State. Now, according to the bracket, they would face off against Boise State. If that matchup occurred, of course, you would have to take Ohio State. They're just better in the trenches. Ashton Genchi, he would not get off against Ohio State's O-line and D-line. So I don't think they can handle the trenches. I would pick Ohio State to win that matchup. An 8 versus a 9 matchup. So let's talk about this one. This is interesting. Tennessee versus Indiana if the season ended today. And for some reason, I don't know what it is about this Indiana team. I still think they're overrated. I don't think they make the playoffs, but I could be wrong. Who knows? The Big Ten is tricky this year. We know the two powerhouses are Oregon and Ohio State. Then you got Penn State. So I don't see Indiana making this. We'll see. Maybe I'm biting my tongue later on. But, of course, I would take Tennessee in that matchup. 6 versus 11. So number 6 right now is Texas. And rightfully so. Texas, I believe they only lost to Georgia on the season. I have them slightly rated if I had my own playoff predictions, but that's neither here nor there. Facing off against Bama. Wouldn't that be a great matchup, ladies and gentlemen? Bama versus Texas. I don't think Bama makes it. We'll talk about that later coming this week. They play LSU this week. I think that's a tough game on the road in Baton Rouge. Also, this last matchup we got here is 10 versus 7, Notre Dame versus Penn State. And I actually like this matchup. This is like a game that would be, kind of hard to pick because Notre Dame is a historic program as well as Penn State. Both got great offensive line, defensive lines. I would slightly give the edge to Notre Dame here just because of their secondary. I believe they can give Drew Aller some problems. So definitely this bracket is looking good. I can't wait until the final bracket comes to play. What you like? You think you like that bracket, Jack? What's up, man?
I think that's a solid bracket. Again, I'm a Georgia dog. I'm a Georgia Bulldog guy, so they're in the bye spot. That's what I think is going to happen, regardless. Yeah, Miami should be there. Oregon should be where they are.
Yeah,
I even think BYU should be where they are, man. Just to be honest. But I like all these teams except I'm thinking Bama's not going to be in that spot when this is all said and done. That's my opinion.
yeah, I agree with you on that because Bama going to LSU. If you guys don't know here,
It's going to be tough.
We've been watching Bama forever, college football, and every time they go to Baton Rouge, especially at night, it's not a nice place to play. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what it is about LSU. They get juiced up for this game. So, but not to mention too as well, Georgia has a tough game this week too against Ole Miss on the road. You think Georgia can pull that one out?
Yeah, I mean, look, you got the number 2 ranked team going against the number 16 ranked team, even though that it's a tough out because of how these teams play each other anyway. Let's be honest. How many 16 ranked teams beat the number 2 ranked team all time?
Yeah, I agree. And to add to that, Ole Miss, if you look at their non-conference schedule, they played a lot of cupcakes. They played like Middle 10. Oh, man. They played Wake Forest, I believe. They played a little bit too many cupcakes. And in college football, it's all about your schedule and who you play because that gets you prepared for these type of moments. Going on the road in a tough environment where in a game where you need to win, you have to show up 4 quarters, not just first half, be up. Georgia could be down first half like they usually always are or, in a tight game first half. But they seem to come out second half, settle in. Got a great coach, Kirby Smart, Carson Beck, experienced quarterback. Yeah, he's been having trouble throwing interceptions, but, he knows that he can't do that anymore. So now he's going to get it together. I agree. Georgia wins this game, and they keep that bye rolling on. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about this college football.
I'm excited about this week anyway with college football, just to see where these teams end up. Because this is going to be more of a nut chat week for, I think, a lot of teams across the board, even a team that's minus 2,000 going against a team that might look more like a cupcake,
Yeah.
If they look like more like a cupcake, those teams that are heavily favored should prove that and really steamroll a team and not let it be closer than how it should be or not cover their spreads. That's how I look, especially this week because we're so close to the end of the college football season. Yeah,
definitely, because Tennessee, they have a cupcake. Well, they're still in conference play, but they play the worst team in their conference, Mississippi State, minus 25. Notre Dame, they play Florida State. We know how Florida State been playing this year, pitiful. So, like you said, 25-point spread, if you cover it, you might move up a slot or two in the rankings. And there's no telling, BYU's on the road at Utah, so there's no
like I said, it's a week where, again,
yeah,
anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the content today. College football playoff bracket. We'll end off with that. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. MLG Sports Talk. In the meantime, in between time, let's get this cash, y'all.
This is not financial advice. Yeah. Nah, I don't judge. Eat how you gonna eat, keep it legit. And please don't bother me, rather in advance. Or you hit the lottery, buy new commodities.